Welcome to a Ralph Reed's private reading. Please tell a friend to tell a friend to like, share, subscribe to TURN, the United Ronin Networks, as well as my other channel, R.G.M.C, Ralph Garcia, Master of Ceremonies. Let's not waste any more time. I shall read to you a little story I myself have written under the pen name PeZeL, P-E-Z-E-L, with a vibe so live, I make wives infidel. This little story is called B.F.F, C&C. Let's get right to it. Let the reading commence. Chapter 1. I met her and her friend 15 years ago. Each and every time we saw each other, it was always love. Christi and her bestie, Carolina. Every hello was met with a huge bear hug for the both of them. They loved how I would pick them up from the ground high into the air in my embrace. Each of them would both get the treatment, super hugs and bevies of kisses every time they would walk in my place of work. I was a doorman at their favorite restaurant in the Bronx. It had been years since I seen my two best friends. Haven't heard a thing from them until one day, a mutual friend of ours randomly gave me a call out of the blue. He's on his phone saying, "Hey bro, it's Frederick." "Frederick, what the f***? It's been 1,000 years," I said, pleasantly surprised that he called. "It's Carolina's birthday today. Her and Christi are here with me on their way to pick you up." I was grateful. I was bored out of my mind, wondering what the hell to do that evening when he called. You're kidding, right? I asked excitedly. You do live in Harlem, right? Frederick then asked. Yes, I replied. Where are you exactly? We're coming off the 135th Street Bridge. We'll be by you in 10 minutes. Say no more. I went right to work, shaved, showered, got dressed fast. Didn't take too long to get fresh. 9 minutes, 50 seconds, and counting later, Frederick and the girls arrived to my building in his SUV. I high-fived my dude Fred. Day one status with him. I grabbed the snow bunny Christi. Gosh, it was heavenly. Her perfume was intoxicating. I threw her in the air in my patented bear hug to her delight. I put her down and kissed her forehead, then proceeded to grab Carolina, a brunette version of Christi, equally devastating with her potent perfume and oh so beautiful good looks. It was her birthday. It was already exciting to see my friends for the first time in years, but being it was Carolina's birthday made it all the more special. Inside Fred's Jeep, Christi was seated in front aside Fred as he pushed 75 miles per hour on the Major Deegan uptown. I was in the back seat with the birthday girl. I can tell from the slight smell in the ride that they all been drinking. Birthday girl had this look in her eye that was all too telling. I stared back. Fred turned on the music loudly. Him and Christi began zoning out to salsa songs while Carolina and I started making out. It got intense. The windows fogged up. Fred and Christi paid us no damn mind. Carolina began to climb atop of me, straddling me. Her heavy breathing blew my breath away too as I kissed her the way she kissed me right back. Sloppy, delicious kisses, tasting so sweet. Her breasts begun to pour out of her jacket on my face. My pants were getting tight. My nature rose furiously. Feeling my growth pushing through, she then started to hump me shamelessly in the back of Frederick's ride. Even though the music was loud as hell, that didn't stop me from hearing Carolina moan audibly. We were dry humping ever so viciously. She let out this significant groan that told me she was coming. I felt it. She held me tightly as her breasts pressed so lovingly on my face. She kissed me all over my face as I tried to keep calm and tried not to bust in my pants. But she got multiple orgasms in her. She dried humped me again without mercy. I couldn't help myself and busted a load in my damn pants. I can tell she felt it as she straddled so heavily upon me. It made her bust another hot nut on me. Even though we had clothes on, I can feel how fucking hot and I'm feeling all so we held each other so tight. I looked to see what Fred and Christi were doing, and they were just jamming to the music, paying us no mind. Me and Carolina just paused and just held each other while we finally pulled up to Christi's house. Chapter 2. Before Christi can utter the words, "Make yourself at home, mi casa es su casa," etc., me and Carolina were mouth-f***ing all over the living room. We didn't even notice Christi or Frederick slide to the back of the apartment toward her bedroom. Conveniently, there was a door to shut me and Carolina inside Christi's living room. Carolina immediately began to take her clothes off. Her breasts swayed so beautifully as my began hurting in anticipation. She paused these natural, showed them to me, dropped them and went down on all fours and cat-crawled her way towards me. The vision coming toward me was making me so inside my was pulsating violently, watching this delicious Hispanic woman crawling to me on all fours, reaching me, unbuckling my belt, taking off my button, and none. Salsa music began blaring from Christi's bedroom. They were in no way paying us any kind of mind. Carolina unveiled my she marveled at it, taking the head and circling it, and then lovingly, she had expertly using her teeth in a way it wouldn't hurt. She as it dripped out of her mouth. My was foaming white where her sealed while she was making a mess all over the fucking floor while she held my in one hand and massaging with the other. I grabbed her hair with both of my hands and began to her with my she let me. It was as if she wanted me to slide more. I ruthlessly. She made those gurgling noises that made me more evil. I took my dripping wet and begun to her palace. Her moaning drove me insane. I brought her to her feet and stuck my she is lousy. I turned her around and put her hands on the wall. Her ass was poking out as if it were waiting for me. Her nozzle men were scraping the wall as I put my she was poking that out to me. I couldn't resist any longer. I took my huge pulsating and smacked her before I see her waiting tight. She screaming loud. I pulled back slowly and in her did her the same way again, only to feel her as she. This is when I grab her with both hands and start to slam. The yelling Carolina did only made my hurt. I started to fuck her hard and fast with a she screams and snags. I pulled out my I stuck her house and talking about them. I wanted to ravage her. She was accepting of it too. Happy birthday, I whispered into her ear. She called me again. The floor. It was a mess. She slid back on her knees, facing me. Oh, I had to. I grabbed her by the hair, then I took my with sweat on her face, and I can tell she was sexually and spiritually satisfied. I shook the rest of my out of my all over Carolina's beautiful Puerto Rican face. I lay next to her. She was already asleep. I got up, got dressed, and headed to Christi's bathroom to wash up. I was listening in to see what was going on in Christi's bedroom, only hearing a Mark Anthony song being played loudly. The next morning, I woke to a gorgeous sleeping naked beauty in Carolina. I got up to use the bathroom and saw that Frederick was long gone. Christi greeted me with a cup of coffee when she emerged from the kitchen. It was very welcoming. I kissed Christi on the forehead, took a sip of the gourmet espresso, and used the restroom. I came out of the bathroom to see Carolina dressed, ready to leave. Guess I'll leave too then, I thought. Christi gave us both hugs and kisses, and we reciprocated, wishing each other a great day. Carolina and I started down the stairs. I walked Carolina to a waiting taxi. She offered me her cheek to kiss. One night stand confirmed. Chapter 3. There were many times Carolina and Christi would meet me at the most strangest of places all over New York City. But then I started to see them less and less. And when I'd finally link up with any of them, it would always be with Christi. I'd ask her, how come Carolina stopped hanging around with us? She get married or something?
She's pregnant,
Christi replied slyly, knowing I react a certain way, which I did.
No, it's not yours,
Christi said playfully. I knew that, I said emphatically. In the back of my mind, I knew for a fact I did not snip Carolina.
She's moving out of state on us, and she is getting married.
Well, I'll be damned.
That's you'll have to be.
We both laugh. It's been like that. Christi and I, whenever she get the hangry pangs, as she calls it, she'd call me up and tell me to meet her at a food spot, whether it be Shake Shack, Chick-fil-A, or even Cat's Deli. Every time we saw each other, it was always a dinner date. Always refused me chipping in, though. Always insisted she pay for our meals each and every time. When I offered to pay, she would glare at me with those big blue eyes as if she's telling me I know better. One time, she missed a date we had. Wasn't like we were boyfriend or girlfriend or anything, but then she admitted to going out with Frederick instead that night. She double booked us. I actually got jealous at that. I told her too. She laughed. But why did I get so damn jealous, knowing I had her best friend in her living room last year? After admitting she had our dates double booked, she said to me to be easy. She is gonna make it up. I can't lie. She's got me there. She paid for every damn dinner date we've been on. And mind you, she would pay a lot of money. These places we go to, they're not cheap. I should keep my mouth tight. We hugged. I kissed her right on the forehead as a trademark and held her oh so tightly. She invited me to the movies, a first. I'm paying for it, I sneered.
You ain't paying for a damn thing,
Christi said adamantly. At least let me pay for the popcorn, I said.
No.
Those big, beautiful blue eyes staring deep into my face. Then she said,
Give me a call when you make it to the movie theater.
Yes, ma'am. Chapter 4. I was lost looking for the damn place. My trusty bestie texted me the directions to where she was. There was a line that started from well around the corner from the theater. I had fears of this being unpleasant, but who should I see round about the middle of that line? Christi. There she was. That hair, those big blue eyes, those rosy cheeks, her crimson lips, and to think she didn't need any kind of makeup. I was in awe of her. I had to take a minute to stare at her before making my presence known. I shouldn't be this attracted to my B.F.F, but I was. Indubitably, I was taken by her. When she saw me approach her, Those big blue eyes lit up. Her lips flashed the biggest smile I ever saw her wear. I wanted to kiss her mouth badly. I had a feeling she might have let me, but I kissed her forehead instead, and then I held her tight. No tossing her in the air like usual, but I just held her close instead, feeling her heart beat against mine. I had to hold her close, real close. I might have kissed her a few times, on her head. The smell of her perfume, her skin, her hair made me not want to let go.
God, you smell so good,
she purred as she buried her furry face into my chest as I held her ever so closely. I checked out her Ukrainian booty in those tight-ass jeans of hers. Time flew on the line. All we did was yap our faces off, as we always do. We got so deep in conversation, we were already inside the movie theater before we knew it. We were at the concession stand, and I pulled out my wallet. Christi's smile immediately turned upside down.
What did I tell you?
It's just that you're always paying for stuff. Let me pay.
Put your damn wallet back in your pocket and never let me see it again.
Yes, Christi. I must be the luckiest man alive to have such a B.F.F. I'm ever so grateful. There we were on our respective seats with endless snacks at our disposal that Christi paid for in its entirety yet again. After turning the smorgasbord of snacks into trash, I kindly gathered all the garbage and tossed them in the can outside the showroom. I rejoined Christi on the seat next to her, and she immediately put her head on my shoulder. Call me crazy for saying this, but girls tend to give off this smell about them when they are content, like when a cat purrs. A sweet fragrance about Christi emanated from her hair, and it was oh so delicious. I put my arm around her and snuggled closer to her as we watched the film. The movie was done, but we didn't leave the showroom yet. As everyone else exited during the credits, we took our time. Fact was, we didn't want to leave our comfort zone for anything. We were so spoiled and stuck. Leave it to me to be the one to bring us back to reality. Want to wrap it up, I asked.
Hell no,
Christi retorted.
Food time.
I'm not about to say no to that, I chimed. So we ate a magnificent dinner together, but that wasn't the hit of the evening. The kicker was, when she ordered drinks for us, I wasn't gonna stop her this time. I didn't want her to give me that look of death she gave earlier. The bartender brings back these huge cups of ale that had to be at least 32 ounces each. They were 44 ounces as they came closer. You really gonna drink that? I yelped.
Hell yeah, and you're gonna drink yours too, in its entirety. Bottoms up.
We clicked cups and chugged away. She's a drinking motherfucker. She put that huge cup down in damn near one shot. I too nearly drank the 44-ounce cup whole, and then I let out the hugest burp, which stopped everyone in their tracks to turn and look at me aghast. Me and Christi began cracking up loudly. We emptied our cups, and Christi decided to get even more drinks for us. We drank and chilled till it was last call. She was visibly drunk, but yet in control. I was f***ed up too, but I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I concentrated dumb hard.
So, you going home?
Christi asked. Well, yeah, but not before I get you home safe. I want to call us a taxi to take you home, I said.
You don't gotta do that,
she said ever so lovingly. I want to, I replied, reciprocating the love right back. Yellow cab arrives fairly quickly. I knew I was going to shell out a pretty penny for this ride, but I didn't care. Christi always looks out. I was all too happy to do this. The ride from Manhattan to the Bronx didn't seem long at all. Christi put her head on my shoulder again. I kissed her forehead again. She moved her head a certain way, as if to invite me to kiss her on other parts. I was not gonna say no. I took it slow, kissed her face tenderly. I felt her kiss my face. I want to hold you just like this for as long as I possibly can, I said.
And I want us to hold each other just like this forever,
she replied. I couldn't believe what I just heard. Could it be the alcohol talking? We had lots, but I was flabbergasted all the same. Chapter 5. We finally reached her home, together arm in arm. I wanted to make sure she got home safe. That was the plan. It honestly was. But there was that little devil inside of me that obviously wants otherwise. She either read my mind or thought the exact same lusty, nasty thing.
Wanna come upstairs?
I replied by simply following her. Even though we were clearly intoxicated, Christi was still the best hostess.
You go ahead and warm up that couch while I put on some Netflix,
she said. Sounds delightful, I chuckled as I did exactly that. Kicked back on her sofa and made myself right at home. She gave me the remote.
What do you want to watch, Teddy Bear?
To be honest, I began thinking in the back of my mind I might not ever have this chance again. I'd rather watch you. There was a pause. Not exactly an uncomfortable silence, because the look in her eye said to me,
I thought you'd never ask. Be careful what you wish for,
she began the cliche, but I interrupted her. I don't want to be careful, and pulled her onto my lap. The intoxicating smell of pheromones oozed out of her pores. The undeniable heat that rose between us immediately fogged her windows. For the first time ever, we kissed each other's lips. Her sizzling red lips, as hot as they f***ing were, kissed me ever so tenderly. I can tell from her movement that she wanted to take this one slow.
I can sense your impatience, Teddy Bear. Just relax. We don't have to rush. We have all night.
You're right, Snowflake. It's just that I wanted you for so long, to be mine for like forever.
Even when you messed around with Carolina?
I'm not surprised she would bring her up, but honesty is the best policy, so I'm going to be honest. I wanted the both of you at the same time in a threesome, I said.
Really?
She responded aghast. Yes, I affirmed with the greatest of confidence.
Honesty is refreshing, Teddy Bear. I'm gonna be a little honest with you,
Christi said.
Carolina couldn't shut the f*** up about you. About how big your is, how you made her.
And hearing her say this shit, I couldn't help but pause it all while she made herself comfortable on my lap. I know for a fact she felt it earthy.
And if that didn't do it, Teddy Bear, I'd heard her screaming over the music. Mark Anthony was loud, but Carolina was louder. I'm happy none of the neighbors called the cops.
We laugh, then hungrily kiss. She kept on talking, purring her words. She made me so curious. Did she?
Yes, Frederick left 'cause I wasn't paying him no mind. I was too busy listening to Ya. He didn't even say bye, he just left. But there Ya go f***ing all hard and she's screaming. It made my wet. Every time I heard you made me wanna...
She mouthed my mouth again. The kissing was no longer human. It became carnivorous. Animal, in fact. Her mouth sloppily sucked on my lips. I then sucked on her tongue. We nibbled lips as if we knew exactly just what to do for each other. almost expertly. We helped each other removing clothes. I bit on her skin, nibbling, tasting her sweat. Her furry face so smooth. I kissed it greedily. She let out a loud, audible moan as I begun to kiss her neck with patience. I took my time. I didn't rush, even though I really wanted to. But I longed for this woman. I longed for this delicious Ukrainian woman and her friend for a decade and a half. I was going to relish in the moment of this beautiful foreplay. I teased Christi with my kisses. The fuzzy fur on her delicious skin was standing on end. Her natural fragrance was mesmerizing. I'd had her where I wanted her. I wanted her. She directed the shed to him without hesitation. Her smoking hot was sizzling. I can feel how hot and why my Ukrainian B.F.F was for me. As I saw her head, she begun playing with her beautiful breasts, touching and playing with them, squeezing herself with both her hands, moaning loudly as she turned her head up towards the ceiling, leaning back. See this little nail as I saw her head so well. I put her and she loved every millisecond of it. I said till the damn thing peaked red and made that little Russian moan like a mad woman. She started to find my bear with force. I welcomed it. She rolled the sheets of she bucked her hips some more, continuously. She would not stop until she was at the verge of Mazago, and only then she let go of her way to a messy explosion of woman. She me and so child all over my fucking face, neck, and chest. I lost patience. My pulsated with violence. I wanted her fucking badly, and she knew it. But it was her turn to tease me. She pulled out my and began to bite it hard. I didn't fucking care. She had all enough to let her bite it as hard as she wanted to, and I could tell she loved that. Her constant moaning and groaning and the audibly loud made me realize how much she was into me. She said with her cat eye staring at me,
"I only wish Carolina was here so you could live your fantasy, teddy bear."
"But I am, Snowflake," I responded. "Oh, I'm ready. I had to." And she named what I was gagged all over to assure she'd get every single drop. She did it so I'm still pulsating, and I know for a fact I feel all she did was all I turned around and bent over in front of me, displaying all that delicious Ukrainian booty. Oh my. Her just the way I like it, oozing all over down her I went behind her and I didn't even know what Lord had, and Christi screamed. But it was oh so tight. She was yelping and moaning almost as if in terror. But after a while, she began to enjoy the pain. Her moaning was so audible, so sexy, so loud, piercing. At first I squeezed inside of her, slowly, and she was in a trance with each. I was driving her out of her mind. Then, when I could find her, I pushed it. She gasped. I stabbed her viciously and violently. Her moaning turned to screaming, then yelling. She was digging her nails into the wall as I sat her the shouldn't have snapped, so turning them crimson. I relentlessly was at her off loudly. She was moaning like she was being murdered. I forced her face onto the sofa, onto one of the pillows, to muffle the sound. I purred and quick fast with zagged and I actually heard Christi utter,
"Please stop, teddy bear. Please. Too much. Too much."
The way she yelled and screamed every word of what she just said made me sad. I exploded and her back, and it felt wonderful. Christi was shuddering, shivering. I went down and washed myself. We were soaking wet. We were soaking wet with sweet sweat, saliva, and sex. Me and Christi laid all over each other, and I said, "I love you." She laughed.
"I believe you."
She then catwalked on top of me, then laid on my chest and said,
"Ya tebe liu."
a fantasy finally fulfilled on both our parts. Fini. That brings us to a close of this private session of Ralph Reads. I would like to thank you for joining me for a private session. You may connect with me via Twitter and Instagram at R.G.M.C. 2407. And whenever you want, you can drop me an email over to rgmc2407@gmail.com. If you would like to leave a small donation, you may do so at paypal.me/rgmc2407 or the Cash App. My cash tag is rgmc2407. Please tell a friend to tell a friend that if you would like to see me on my other channel, go to R.G.M.C, Ralph Garcia, Master of Ceremonies, as well as the United Ronin Networks. As I'd like to say, closing the show, pick up a good book, read a good story, and set your good self free. I appreciate you and love you like cooked food. I hope you enjoyed this little private session of Ralph Reads.